years have witnessed an alarming escalation. Sindhi Hindus now face multifaceted state-sanctioned attacks.
World is aware of the natural resources exploitation and suppression of human rights of Balochs.
All those arrested and detained are tortured systematically in custody.
We want to draw the Council's urgent attention to the announcement of Pakistan Army to acquire 1.3 million acres of land in Sindh for corporate farming.
Mr. Vice President, although the violence against Sindhi Hindus has been a dark thread in Pakistan's history, forcing approximately 80% of them to flee their ancestral homelands since the country's inception. However, recent years have witnessed an alarming escalation. Sindhi Hindus now face multifaceted state-sanctioned attacks. These include forced conversion, around 20 girls per month, mostly minor girls, desecration of places of worship, attacks on their properties and businesses, blasphemy charges, and abductions carried out by the bandit gangs, including children, girls, and elderly. Heart-wrenching videos of the chained and tortured victims are being disseminated on social media platforms, deepening the community's trauma. These heinous acts are a part of coordinated campaign implemented by Pakistani state agencies and their proxies to create such an unbearable conditions for Sindhi Hindus to coerce them into abandoning their homes, lands and businesses. This is the part of a broader strategy to convert Sindhis into minority in their homelands. We implore UN and international community to take immediate and effective measures to provide protection and halt these ethnic cleansing of Sindhi Hindus committed by Pakistan.
President, loss of livelihoods in Balochistan, a major human rights concern. World is aware of the natural resources exploitation and suppression of human rights of Balochs. Yet they keep their silence. Pakistan government is trying everything to ruthlessly repress the voices coming out of the region against the Chinese presence and Pakistan's iron hand rule. Balochistan's 60% population is living below the poverty line, and ongoing CPEC project has become a major concern with regard to Balochistan resources exploitation, loss of local employment and livelihoods. It has caused socio-economic catastrophe in the region. With Chinese presence in Balochistan and Pakistan, disrespect for the region and its people has led to plundering of Balochistan resources in a multifarious way, and there has been a little benefit to the locals despite multiple extraction operations in the land. Fishermen of Balochistan has become adversely impacted by the Chinese advanced trawlers exploiting their catch in scale. In October 2020 itself, they protested against allowing Chinese trawlers in their fishing zones surreptitiously. Exploitation of Sindh copper gold mine by Chinese company is also setting a dangerous precedent. A report also suggests that bleak commercial aspects of Gwadar port is making a prospect of Chinese military outpost in the future. Around 15 to 18,000 Chinese are in Balochistan, posing a detrimental unemployment crisis of Balochs and making them endure hardship and suffering on daily basis. The hard truth is that Pakistan's complacency in keeping Balochs marginalized and brutally suppressing their voices, and there has been little done to uphold Pakistan accountable. Therefore, I urge the UNHRC to take necessary actions to protect the rights of Balochs and protect their rights to livelihood.
Mr. President, we would like to turn the Council's attention toward the systematic use by Pakistan Army of torture on Pashtun human rights defenders, particularly members of Pashtun Tahaffuz movement. On May 31, 2023, PTM activists Aidur Rahman Wazir and later Gilman Wazir were illegally detained by Pakistan Army. During detention, both of them were tortured mentally and physically. They were forced to record statements against PTM to malign the image of this peaceful, non-violent movement advocating the rights of Pashtuns. On August 18, 2023, PTM held a protest in Islamabad urging the Supreme Court of Pakistan to protect the basic fundamental rights of Pashtun ethnic minority, particularly the right to live, otherwise they will be forced to demand their right to self-determination. Immediately after the rally, PTM office in Islamabad was ransacked by police and arrested 2 PTM activists present. Pakistan resettled more than 6,000 active TTP members along with their families in Khyber Pakhtunkhwa and fully supporting them while PTM activists are arbitrarily detained, tortured and killed in custody. PTM urged Pakistan Army not to support terrorist groups and ensure peace and security in Pashtun-dominated areas of Pakistan. Instead of listening their grievances, the state of Pakistan has detained and tortured hundreds of PTM workers who are protesting against alarming increase in enforced disappearances, target killings, arbitrary detention and torture by Pakistan Army. All those arrested and detained are tortured systematically in custody. We urge UN to take up this issue of torture with the state of Pakistan, signatory to the UN Convention Against Torture, to establish a Judicial Enquiry Commission to find the culprits and punish them.
Mr. Vice President, we want to draw the Council's urgent attention to the announcement of Pakistan Army to acquire 1.3 million acres of land in Sindh for corporate farming. This will severely impact the rights of millions of Sindhi people to life, food and economic well-being. The process of land grab started with inception of Pakistan when 80% of Sindhi Hindus were coerced to leave and their lands were plundered and distributed to people from outside Sindh. In the years following the completion of Ghulam Ahmad Barrage in 1955, millions of acres of new lands were abhorrently given to the army and their proxies in complete disregard of the rights of the local communities. The agricultural lands of Sindh continued to be allotted to the army and their proxies for one or another reason, and currently millions of acres are in their possession. The land grab in Sindh has significantly contributed as more than 70% of Sindhi people suffer multidimensional poverty and malnutrition and resulting disease, displacement and death. The proposed new accusation will further aggravate this. We earnestly request to the UN to press upon Pakistan to stop grabbing of lands of Sindhi people, return the seized lands of Sindhi people and lands identified for corporate farming to landless peasants to alleviate poverty and malnutrition in Sindh.
ನಾಡು ನುಡಿ ನೆಲ ಜಲ ಅಂತ ಬಂದಾಗ ಹಿಂದೆ ಹೆಜ್ಜೆ ಇಡೋ ಮಾತೇ ಇಲ್ಲ. ದೇಶದ ವಿಚಾರದಲ್ಲಿ ರಾಜಿ ಪ್ರಶ್ನೆನೇ ಇಲ್ಲ. ನಮ್ಮದು ಸಂವಿಧಾನದ 4ನೇ ಅಂಗ. ನಾಟಕ ಮಾಡಲ್ಲ, ಇಲ್ಲ ಸಲ್ಲದನ್ನ ಹೇಳಲ್ಲ, ಇದ್ದಿದ್ದನ್ನ ಇದ್ದಿದ್ದಾಗೆ, ಸುದ್ದಿಯನ್ನ ಸುದ್ದಿಯಂತೆ ನಿಮ್ಮ ಮುಂದೆ ತೆರೆದಿರ್ತೀವಿ. ತಪ್ಪು ಮಾಡೋರನ್ನ ಸುಮ್ಮನೆ ಬಿಡಲ್ಲ. ಹಾಗಂತ ನ್ಯಾಯದ ಹಾದಿಯಲ್ಲಿದ್ದವರನ್ನ ಗುರುತಿಸಿ ಸೆಲ್ಯೂಟ್ ಹೊಡೆಯೋದನ್ನು ಮರೆಯೋದಿಲ್ಲ. ಈಗ ಶುರು ಮಾಡೋಣ ನೇರ ಮಾತು, ಕಣ್ಣಲ್ಲಿ ಕಣ್ಣಿಟ್ಟು. ರಿಪಬ್ಲಿಕ್ ಕನ್ನಡ, ಇದು ನಿಮ್ಮ ಧ್ವನಿ.